Okay, everybody, we're live. Let me adjust the camera quick. Because there we go. That should have it.
It moved back.
Wait, no, I've got everything framed up, Darren. Because the whole idea is we stop right here, kind of framing, which is Ishtar's shrine, and then we have the stuff over here. So it's all good. So welcome everybody. And I do have a little one joining us tonight. We had tucked her in her little crib. We actually got a little bassinet for the duck so she could stay, among us. And, she slept for a little while, but, ducks are kind of like cats, they nap and then they're up again. And so she, started to complain that she was by herself. So I said, well, okay. So if you hear any squeaks, that's our little ducky. But, she's kind of chilled out for the moment. But glad to be back with everybody. And hopefully everyone is okay, because I know that on one half of the country, we've got snowstorms and all that going on. And then over in California, you have all those wildfires, and it kind of reminds me of the joke about the statistician, as in someone who does statistics, who has
his head in the oven and his feet in the freezer.
Yes, he has a head in the oven and his feet in the freezer, and says, on average, I feel fine. So that's kind of how we are right now. So here in the U.S. So it goes. Yeah. Okay, I'm Team Snowstorms. Who's with me? Yeah. Yeah. Then we just got cold and rain. We didn't get any ice, but our friend Preston had to drive home 2 days early so that he could stay ahead of, weather. And this morning it was coming down snow, where he was. And so we're glad he wasn't driving in that. So, yeah, but, I have to say, I was reading about, some of the things that were affected by the fires in California. And it's kind of weird to think we probably saw some of those places driving along, the 504, seeing the back of it, because there were a lot of landmarks and things that were destroyed. But something that would be of relevance to folks of our persuasion, the Getty Villa, which is modeled after a villa that was found in Herculaneum and has thousands of Greek, Roman, and Etruscan artifacts, was safe. The fire came very close to it. There were trees and things that were part of their grounds that did burn up. But because of all of the mitigation efforts that they had done earlier, the villa itself was safe. So I say kudos to them, and may others take cues from that, as they rebuild to rebuild safer and, take these kinds of risks into account. So kudos to them for that. But ironically, the feast that we're observing at one point was part of a month that was called the Great Burning. But it was because they would be lighting lots of candles or lamps and torches and offering lots of different kinds of loaves of bread, because we're at the exact midpoint of the Kemetic year. Actually, Monday will be exactly 6 months from Egyptian New Year's. So that's what this feast is about, is the midpoint in the Kemetic year. And there were actually certain things that were preserved in the Book of the Dead that the instructions said to be recited on the second month of winter, last day. So that would be, at this point, because it's the end of the second month of that season. We call it winter, but it was actually the season of Poret, of emergence.
Right.
So it's just winter because that was when it was cooler. But that's the exact midpoint of the year. So that's why we are honoring our creator deities. We have Ra, we have Ptah, and we have Amun, who, of course, in the by the late New Kingdom, by the Ramesside period, had they kind of interpreted them as a trinity. And so you had Amen was the hidden man, the hidden nature. Ra was the outward manifestation, and Ptah was a different aspect. The aspect is the I think as the creator,
Right.
the fashioner. So that's what we have here. So welcome everybody. Temple of Horus on the Prairie. That's a cool name. So you've actually got something cool going. Is it a home shrine or? Because that sounds like a lot of fun. Temple of Horus on the Prairie. But yes, and for anybody who's just joining in, if you happen to hear any squeaks, that's our little ducky. She didn't want to be by herself, so we've got her in her little book bag.
Is there such thing as Little Horus on the Prairie?
Little Horus. Okay, I've got things on my drum. Otherwise, I would do a rim shot with that. But Little Horus. I'm gonna be thinking of that. Yeah, squeaky ducky. I was just kind of telling everybody what the Feast of Makhir is about, and we're at the midpoint in the Kemetic year, and you might hear the ducky. So that's got you more or less up to speed. So let's go ahead and get started. And there's no ice or snow where we are, but those waters are probably going to be kind of cold. So.
Oh yeah.
It's.
I'm already cold. My hands are cold right now.
You need a blanket or a scarf or something?
No.
Okay. All right. That's okay. These cool waters are upon my hands, and they purify me, as technique purifies me. Hail unto you, O United. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands. Our purity is within our hands. We've cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. Here. Oh, here.
I didn't mean to do that.
There you go. Okay.
Unfortunately, Indiana would have the advantage.
What?
It would just roll off of her.
Yeah.
Like water off a duck's back.
Yeah. That's a thing. It's okay, baby. All right. And for this occasion, I'm actually going to use an oil lamp. So there we go. No. There we go. I just had to get to the point where the wick was saturated. So. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light. The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light. The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra and all of their abodes, till none remain. Receive the light. The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world, to everyone who is tuning in with us now, has been with us in the past, and will join us in the future. This eye of Horus comes, and we are all purified with it. Receive the light. There we go. And I've got it kind of doubled up because the terracotta of those dia lamps is rather porous, and so after a while it will seep through, and so I'm protecting it from seeping onto the candle holder I typically use. So that's why you see that. You arise in the Akhat as Capri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Amun, Ra, Ptah, and hail and praise unto you, O Yunuchru, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his fet. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us, and your strength being within us. Okay. And let's go ahead and light our candle for Sekhmet, that she may also bring peace and healing to all those who need it. Hang on, I just had that going. There. Take these, your cool waters, which are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. Oh, you're not true. These waters are the eye of Horus. Your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, O Yunuchru. You may be purified with it. We give you incense, great to purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. It cleanses you, it adorns you. takes its place upon your hands. O Yenachru, we give to you this eye of Horus. Its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, O Yenachru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. Yeah, I made another batch of tiger nut cakes for the occasion. The gardens prosper and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine. Amen, Ra, Ptah. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine, and your water. Pure, pure is Ra Horiketi within his house. Pure, pure is Amun within his house, and Ptah, south of his wall, within his house. Pure are the cause of all of these gods, with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure. For Amun, Ra, and Ptah, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horiketi. Come to your body, O Amun Ra. Come to your body, O Ptah. Come to your bodies, O Yenachru. Come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these, your offerings, and partake of them. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Amun, Ra, and Ptah. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. Ora Horiketi, and your son, the Osiranisu Nebkeparura. Your foes retreat from you, and Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. And from the table of the gods, the table of the blessed dead, we light this candle, that it may be the eye of Horus that lights their way in Duat. And we pour these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Horechta henket kakao abdus and chirmat chutnebat nofra wabaranket nasharim kawan achu puniba machaniba hiranachra. Voice offering, bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which a God lives, the cause of all of these blessed dead, all of our loved ones, all true of voice for the great God. And we need to include it's the official count is now at 10 people who died in the fires in greater Los Angeles. And there was also there was an earthquake in Tibet, kind of close to the border with Nepal, and of course it's freezing cold there right now. So,
Prayers for them.
Yeah.
Prayers for the world.
Yes. So now, we come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased and your God shall live. Truly, your Aeneid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Aeneid says unto you, your word is law, eternally. The sped is cast out by your word, and rejoicing is yours every day. Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. May we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Duck's lighting is nowhere at the quack waypoint. Oh, okay, today's also a feast of Sokar, Rosatow, and Unifer. Decking purification shot. Well, now? Oh, okay. Oh, it's now up to 11.
Oh my.
Yeah. I'm really sorry to hear about that. Because buildings can be rebuilt, but the people lost is another matter. So, but okay. For the filling of the sacred eye. And again, this is taken from the Book of the Dead. Oh goodness, which spell is it actually in here? Yes, spell 140. Book to be recited. Of course, the word that we translate as book is, they didn't have books like these, but to be recited in the second month of winter, last day, when completing the sacred eye, in the seventh month of winter, or second month of winter, last day. And which I have a painted eye of Horus. You can't quite see it. It's above the star of Ishtar, framed on the wall. And so, it's funny. Before I'd framed it, I'd had it where I would set it, in front of the altar. But now it's permanently overlooking the proceedings. But it represents the completed eye. So. The mighty one appears, lighting up the horizon. A tomb appears, perfumed with incense, the luminous one who rises in the sky. The mansion of the Ben is in joy, and all its residents are assembled. A voice calls out within the shrine. A shout reverberates throughout Duat. Obeisance is done at the words of Atum Horaketi. His Majesty gives command to the Enid attending him, for he is happy to contemplate the sacred eye. Behold my body, to which protection has been given, and all my limbs which have been made to flourish. His Majesty's words go forth, and his eye rests in her place upon his brow in the 4th hour of the night, and the land is happy in this last day of Makhir. The majesty of the sacred eye is before the Enid. A tomb shines as on the first occasion, and the sacred eye is in his head. Ra Atum, the everlasting, the sacred eye. Shu, Geb, Osir, Set, and Horu, Jehuti, who travels eternity. Nut, Asit, Nebatat, Hathor, the victorious. The 2 Shemayet goddesses, the singers. Mahat, Anapu, the sacred land, born of eternity, and the Ba of Jiddu. When the sacred eye has been filled in the presence of the Lord to the limit, standing completed and content, these gods are joyful on this day. Their hands support her, and the feast of all the gods is celebrated. And they say, Hail unto you, and praise to Ra. The sacred bark sails, and Apep is felled. Hail to you, and praise to Ra. The form of Khepri has come into being. Hail to you, and praise to Ra. Rejoice over him, for his enemies have been driven away. Hail to you, and praise to Ra. The heads of the Mozabadesh have been cut off. Worship to you, and praise to Ra. So this is symbolically reestablishing creation, and it's like a point of completion, and so the Ra is in his shrine, and his Enid is assembled, and they're all happy on this day. And originally you would have had 5 white loaves and 5 flat loaves and meat offerings, but we kind of had to abbreviate it. But 3 is a symbol of multiples. So the sign for many, or for more than, basically more than 2 is, 3 marks. So we have 3 loaves to symbolize many. And so we'll also read our text honoring Shu. Oh, you 8 Hech gods of Hech gods, who encircle the sky with your arms, who gather together sky and earth for Geb. Shu fashioned you in chaos, in noon, in darkness and gloom. He allots to you Geb and Nut, while Shu is repeating, Nech, and Tefnut is enduring, Jet. Shu is the one whom Atum fashioned. His robe is the air of life. A cry for him went out from the mouth of Atum. The air opened upon his ways. He makes the sky light after darkness. His pleasing color is the breath of Atum. Storm clouds in the sky are his efflux. Hailstorms and dusk are his sweat. The length of the sky is his stride, and the width of the earth are his settlements. All living things upon the back of Geb. By Atum's command does Shu govern them. His life is in their nostrils. He guides breath into their throats. Well, hi, Spicy. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Oh, okay, and I'm going to read that as Nix. It's in NJX, but 0077. Where are those writings from? Well, like what I just read, referring to Shu, that's actually from the coffin texts. And it's sometimes referred to as the Litany of Shu, but that's coffin text 80. And the other things that we were reading was from the Book of the Dead. And of course, the coffin text and the Book of the Dead are part of a continuing corpus of work. We give them the modern designations, the pyramid text, the coffin text, the Book of the Dead, but this was something that started with the pyramid text and then evolved, and they added things to it. And there are some passages from the coffin text that you see them later in the Book of the Dead. Like, for example, there's a hymn to Ra that started out in the coffin text, but then it reappears, on papyrus in the Book of the Dead with annotations, because it was several hundred years old by that point. And so they put in the things in it. What does it mean? It means this. So I guess since you asked that, we'll go ahead and we'll read that, and then we'll get to our fortunes. So, and what I have here is actually a shortened version of it, because the whole thing. Okay, spell 335 of the coffin texts, chapter 17 of the Book of the Dead, and it's actually quite long, but this is a shortening of it. I'll read the English version of it. Now come to me all the words of the Lord of all. I am a tomb when I was alone. I came into being in noon. I am Ra in his rising, in the beginning ruling that which he has made. I am the great God who came into being himself. The waters, Noon, the father of the gods. What does it mean? It is Ra who created the names of his limbs. They have come into being as the gods in Ra's suite. I am unopposed among the gods. I am yesterday. I know tomorrow. What does it mean? Again, this is something that somebody added centuries later and was recorded in the Book of the Dead. Yesterday is Osiris. Tomorrow is Ra. On that day of destroying the wicked foes of the Lord of all, and of crowning his son Horus. I made the battleground of the gods as Osiris, Lord of the Western Desert, commanded. I know the great God who is in it. I am the great phoenix who is in Yunu. I am the overseer of that which exists. What does it mean? It is Osiris, otherwise said, that which exists is his body. Otherwise said, it is eternal renewal and everlastingness. Again, the words Neheh and Jed, which stand for two different kinds of time. You have linear time and then repeating time. Eternal renewal is the day. Everlastingness is the night. I am Min in his going forth. I have placed the dual plumes on my head. I am the great cat who split the Ished on its side in Yunu on that night of war, of warding off the rebels, on that day which were destroyed the wicked foes of the Lord of all. What does it mean? That great cat who split the Ished on its side in Yunu is Ra himself, called Cat, when Sia said of him, how like him by what he has done? And his name became Cat. And that's, of course, a pun, because me, like something, and mew, kitty. So, wrongdoing is overthrown and evil is destroyed. I have seen Ra born from the hindquarters of the great flood. If he is well, then I am well, and vice versa. And so eventually I want to take text like that and kind of tweak the Egyptian pronunciation and make something kind of like the video that I did for the Osiris hymn. But those kind of projects are a little more involved than, they might sound at first, at first blush. But cats is in meow, yes. Well, cats rules. Yeah. Well, I can see Katie, and Kat. Of course, we had you had a coworker named Kat.
Yep.
And Kat was pretty cool.
Yes, she was.
But And actually, there's if I remember right, there was a small exhibit that we went to about 8 years ago in Dallas. That was about sacred felines, and they had like some things from there was a collection from the Met or something that was touring, and there was a coffin of a Middle Egyptian lady, and I'd have to go and look at the book again, but I think her name, and part of the reason why she was part of the exhibit, or her coffin was anyway, was because her name was Mew,
Huh.
or something incorporating Mew. So cat. It was the equivalent of cat for us. So enough about cats. What about duckies? Tell you what, we'll let Indiana say hello for a moment, and then we'll do our fortunes. Say hi, baby. Squeak, squeak. Want to say hi to everybody? Here you go. Say hi, Indiana. Say hi, baby. Oh, sweetheart.
Don't be camera shy.
Oh, so there she is. Okay. Say hi, baby.
She's trying to turn around, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of tight for her, so she hasn't quite gotten to the point where she can just like settle.
Say hi, everybody.
I say hi. Yeah. It's okay, baby. Yeah.
We have such a good girl.
Yes, we do. She's a good ducky. And she's been Darren's office duck. She went and she took a nap behind him while he was working yesterday.
Yep.
So. Yeah, pretty good. Oh. Yes. That tends to happen with cats because Temple of the Horse on the Prairie was like a year ago we had one cat, now we have three. They tend to find friends, I noticed. Yeah. But yes, of course, Indiana. Yes, we named the duck Indiana. She lost her last flock mate, a couple of weeks ago, and so she's never been by herself. So now we're her flock, so that's why we've been keeping her a little closer to us, and she's slowly adapting. We're adapting to, different life. And actually I got a bassinet for her, which is really funny. I told the cash register, yes, for my change of life, baby. So, but I did explain it was, for my pet, my feather baby. So she thought it was cute. Yeah, and Indiana is 12 years old. We got her in April of 2012 as one of 4 little tiny ducklings that would fit in my hand. And if she makes it to April, she'll be 13. And
which is way older than most.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yotsuba was 2 months shy of 12. So, yeah. And that's... I've heard, I saw online there was somebody else who had a duck that lived to be about that old, so it's possible, but they've got to be bougie ducks. They've got to be inside ducks. But well, we're glad we still have her. So we're gonna take a fortune for everybody. So if anyone's tuning in after the fact, you'll see this is for everyone for the week ahead. Or what's interesting is last week's was kind of looking ahead, and it said September will be a month of happiness, joy, and contentment. And we've been getting several fortunes that have been pointing ahead to September. So, don't spend all your energies early on this year. Hang in there because they could get better as the year goes on. I think patience should be the theme for this year. Let's see what else we have to add to that. December will be a month for relaxation and renewal.
Yeah.
So, I think, I don't know, everything that we've been getting suggests that come, the Egyptian New Year, some things are going to start moving and go ahead.
I'll explain some more later, but all of this fits with some email I got.
Okay. And it's going to mean different things for different people, but
Yeah.
This time next year we could be, could be really well. But okay. Okay. Yeah, and Katie's saying from Set and my spirit guide, the Thunderbird, I had a dream about them. And then Zephos Lavender Stone for the question, what does Anpu want me to do to be the best I can as his priestess? So,
You must accomplish the licking of bowls.
What?
No, I'm picking.
Well, I'm thinking that Far Side thing about, with the two dogs and one of them is a security guard. And he says, look, I know you probably are who you say you are, but regulations state I have to sniff your butt.
Yeah.
So but that's okay. Ducks don't do that because actually a fun fact for you. Human beings have about 10,000 taste buds. Ducks have about 300 or 400. So for them, everything does taste like chicken. And that also means they probably aren't that aware of as sensitive to smells as we are, because taste and smell are connected. But that's your fun fact. The more you know. So we'll start with Katie. Katie, you will look back on this moment and smile. So, Katie, you will look back on this moment and smile. Oh, super sticker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Squeak, squeak. All right. And so,
help us feed and care for our ducky.
Okay, I gotta step away, so I'm not gonna ask for a reading, but I do want to send you a thank you for another great service. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Okay. Okay, I see. Whoops, King of Wicca, and then Zephos. So yeah, let me get King of Wicca and then Zephos. Okay, King of Wicca. With faith, we can find meaning and purpose in life. With faith, we can find meaning and purpose in life. So, King of Wicca, that was for you. And now, for Zephos. You will create a new recipe that will become a family favorite.
But he doesn't cook at all.
Well.
Time to get started.
Remember, sometimes things like this are metaphors. There could be, that could be one of those roundabout answers for you. You'll create a new recipe that will become a family favorite. And it could be that you wanted to know about, how do I better serve Anapu? That might be a clue. Check out my tiger nut recipe.
Yes.
Apparently, several folks have posted, videos, not just the tasting history of Max Miller guy. Well, that's his name, but I saw that one and I was like, oh, I have some things to add to this, so I did my own. And I want to say somebody else has got another video on making tiger nut cakes. But the more the merrier. Okay, so Threlo, and then Ashley Spradley from Unpoo. Threlo, I think you got some voicemail. Indiana, is this confusing you? You may be thinking of treats. I'll have to give you some in a little while. Because she has a Ziploc bag with dried mealworms. That's her treats. And I have a bag of dry roasted almonds that sounds rather similar when you pick it up and open it. And there have been a couple of times when I went to open it and I had to go and give her some treats.
Those are Sharon treats.
Well, I tell her, those are Mama Duck treats.
Sharon doesn't have treats.
That's not true either. All right. Let go of worries and embrace peace this Wednesday. That's the first one for you, Threlo. Here's another one. And the second one, opportunity is like a gem hidden in the rough. Polish it with hard work. So Threlo, opportunity is like a gem hidden in the rough. Polish it with hard work. But let go of worries and embrace peace this Wednesday. Work hard, but take a break on Wednesday. So Threlo, that was for you. Next was Ashley asking Anpu. All right, Ashley Spradley. Never ignore a gut feeling, but never believe that it's enough. Never ignore a gut feeling, but never believe that it's enough.
Yeah.
I think the strong sense that I'm getting is when you get a gut feeling, go investigate, find out more.
Yeah. Put some effort into it.
Yeah. Because the gut feeling is what tips you off, but it's not going to tell you the whole story. You're going to have to go and find out. But never ignore that gut feeling. So tuck it in here. Okay. Okay, Spicy Phoenix from Nevitt House. And let's see. I've heard some crazy stories about things people have done to toys. This is talking about lighting toys on fires and discovered that Barbies melt. Yeah. Thankfully, I've never done anything like that. But, okay, so Spicy Phoenix, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do the Discord cookies because there's not a whole lot, ahead of that. But Spicy Phoenix has asked Nebuchadnezzar. October will be a month of happiness, joy, and contentment. So Spicy Phoenix, good things will transpire in October. It will be a month of happiness, joy, and contentment. Of course, that's also the month of the Cognac mystery, so hey. So Spicy Phoenix, that was for you. All right, so Consu Ben and Love Deluxe from Discord. So Consu shines, Consu Ben. All right. Shines or rises. Okay. For Consu Ben, a loved one's trust is a valuable asset. Don't break it. A loved one's trust is a valuable asset. Don't break it. You trying to help us out in the end? Okay, I'll set that aside in case you need me to reread that one. Okay, next is for Love Deluxe. For Love Deluxe. Wow. That's strange. The exact same thing.
Wow.
A loved one's trust is a valuable asset. Don't break it. And I could not have planned that if I tried. I kind of have to, yeah, I have to reread it just to make sure. But for both of them, the same thing. A loved one's trust is a valuable asset. Don't break it. And I guess, you know, the sense I'm getting is if someone confides in you, keep that confidence. But okay, and so next you're sarcastic, since you're being kind enough to relay these stories. Well, that's kind of neat. Yours ended up balancing on the water jar there. So, sarcastic. Your future will be a source of light in your life. Your future will be a source of light in your life. So, all in all, positivity. Okay, so next is Mary Kwapwek from the Jackals, then Nathaniel from Horu, and then Kalhina Hoso. Oh, and a prayer for my dog who passed away yesterday. I'm really sorry. So, right. Yeah, okay, so Mary Kwapwek and Nathaniel. So we're going to ask our jackals on the phone a quote. Nice. Mary Twepawet. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not the end. That's a really positive message. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not the end. So Mary Twepawet, that was for you. Okay. Next is for Nathaniel. And you're also asking from Heru, and he's behind, our Trinity of the evening. I'll ask him for Nathaniel. Your patience will be your greatest asset. So Nathaniel, your patience will be your greatest asset. Yes, and Kalhina Hosa. So. Mm-hmm. We ask Anapu for your cold noses and tail wags for your puppy. All right, Kyle, take care of your inner wisdom. It's the guide on your path. Take care of your inner wisdom. It's the guide on your path. So take care of that wisdom. Nurture it. Don't ignore it. It's the guide on your path. Mm. Okay, and now I'm okay. I see Laurel Karakish asking for a fortune. Okay, good night, Katie. Oh. So Laurel Karakish. Wow. Laurel Karakish. Unpredictable events will shape your future positively. Unpredictable events will shape your future positively. And so I have to say, there's a really strong message of it's going to be okay. Patience, things will work out in the end, that we're getting and have been getting for the last couple of weeks. Well, since last month. So I think it bears repeating because there is so much uncertainty, but think of all the things that they've seen that we haven't, and so I find that very reassuring, especially when times are tough. And I can certainly appreciate the losing a pet. So, but it's going to be all right. So. Nice. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, if anybody else has got a request, for a fortune, go ahead and put that up here.
And there is something I want to mention.
What's that?
There are moments and times in our lives where change happens, loss occurs. But may not be all right, but it's going to be okay.
Well, I like the fortune that Mary Dwepowet got. It'll be okay in the end. If it's not, it's not the end.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And I heard somebody lost their dog.
Yeah.
My deepest sympathies. I know what it's like to have lost a duck. I also know what it's like to have lost a dog after 16 years.
Hmm.
That dog was easily my best friend.
Boudreaux. Yeah. I never met Boudreaux, but I know she was the love of your life.
Before you, yes. Yeah. Yes, before you, yes.
Yeah, and I had a dog named Dragon. She was a Shepherd Rottie mix.
That was a great dog.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, see, people don't understand when I say that she was smarter than all the men in the house. I wasn't taking a dig at all men, just those, because she was. The dog was smarter than them.
Much smarter.
Yeah. She liked to dig, and she'd get out, and so they put up an electrified line. Well, she figured out where the gaps were in the line because they left gaps, and she got out. Then they went and fixed the gaps, but then they let the grass grow up, and it shorted out the line. She figured that out, and then she got out again. They'd do something stupid like leave the gate open. She figured out, off she went. But when I come home from college, Dragon, she would show up. So.
And she also figured out their schedules, and she would leave the yard when they were gone for work.
Yes, and then come back before they got home.
Yes.
Yes, and she got busted because apparently my father had to go home for something one day a little bit early. He had to go and get something, and saw her in the front yard. She saw him pull in and went to her hole, and then went back in the backyard. So yeah, it's like, oh, busted. So she was most certainly a servant of Anapu. That was a smart dog. And I have to say, Indiana here is a very smart ducky.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, because she was watching transfer. She was watching. She figured out I'd put something different on the wall. And was sitting there looking at it. She's for a bird, she's quite smart. Birds are not as dumb as people like to say. But. Yes, I love that. Hashtag not all men. Hashtag just those men. Oh, and do ducks like to be petted? It I don't know. It kind of depends. I tell you what, Yotsuba, if I went down to lean down and pet her, she'd, dip her head and complain, don't pet me. But I have pictures of her sitting on Darren's lap, and he could talk to her and he could pet her. That was Daddy's little girl. Now, Indiana here, well, since it's just us now, she's not too keen on being petted most of the time. But I tell you what, today when I came out, she was so happy, and I went to bend down and pet her, and so she stretched out like, that was an invitation to surf, and that's another thing with ducks. But I was basically getting propositioned by a duck. But so I'm patting her. I'm like, "That's very sweet. I love you, baby." It'll never work, but but that's her way of saying I love you. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up, everybody. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Yunu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great Enid, endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Geb at the Earth's Ba endures. As the name of Newt in the shrine of Shinit in Yunu endures. As the name of Osir, Kentimentiu endures. As the name of Asset in Echeru endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pei endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep endures. As the name of Jehuti in Chamenu endures. As the name of Ra in the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Amen, Ra, Ta. You have come in peace, O Yonetru. May you go forth in peace, O Amen, Ra, Ta. May you go forth in peace, O Yonetru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Manjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, under the chin scratches. Well, what Darren will do something. He'll like stroke on their neck, and they'll pick their head up, and that. But yeah, um, thank you guys so much. And I guess one little thing I'll share with y'all, um, the local pagans in our area, started bugging me. They wanted to know about they're wanting to start some kind of a local pagan festival, whatever. And they never watch my broadcast. They never watch my videos. They don't read my books. And so I told them, tell you what, I'm working on another book. I'll come speak, I'll be a featured speaker, but, I'm not doing a table. I'm not doing, anything like that because, I have you guys. What we do here, we have done more. And here's the fun thing. Come March, we'll have been doing these broadcasts for 5 years because we started in March of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, late March, early April. It was when the pandemic was, the lockdowns were going on. And so, we've been doing it since then with only a handful of breaks. Including one recently for, loss of a loved one. But I have people in our area, who are like, oh, well, I have ADD. I can't sit for something that long. Really? This is the first I've heard of it, So yeah, they don't support what I do, but that's their loss because we have been doing more together, even though we're separated by thousands of miles. And I treasure that, and I appreciate that, and that takes priority over yutzes that live in the area. So, and I can say that because I know they're not going to listen and pay attention anyway. So they're missing out. But thank you guys. I love you all so much, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Be safe and well.
We love you guys.
Mm-hmm. Am I going to participate in it? Well, if they invite me to come speak, I'll talk about my new book, which hopefully by that point will be done. But otherwise, no. That I told them they can handle, organizing, and they can do all that. That's on them, because what I do here is more important. I didn't tell them that part, but that's the truth.
She loves you guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
So do I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are in. You're absolutely right. They're more in for soap operas than pagan spirit, and yeah, and the new book I'm still working on it. I've got to finish writing a bunch of rituals and things. But it's I think 2/3 of the way there, and I'll share more about it once I have it. So yeah, by fall, which is when they want to do that, I think it's likely that I'll have it together. So you guys will know about it first because you guys watch my YouTube videos and you tune in with us. So and I thank you as always. So much love and squeaks from Indiana, and we'll see you next week.
Same time.
Yeah. Oh, and Temple of Horus on the Prairie. We're blessed to have a few Egyptian adherents who are members here. That's really cool. What you guys do. You'll have to tell us more about it sometime. And if you're not on the Discord already, then come and tell us about it on there. Let me grab a link for you real quick. That's right. I have to double click on that. Come on. And you know what? If somebody else has a link, oh, you are in the Discord. Awesome. Hoda Naketi. Okay, cool. Well, that is great. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to check that later. Thank you so much for joining us. Safe and well. And come join us again next week. All right. All right. Big hugs, guys.